All right. Yo, Bootleg Kev Show, Bootleg Kev Podcast. Special guest in here, my guy Jayson Cash.
Yeah.
Carson Zone is here.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, man.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're. You've been working on so much music.
Yeah.
For I feel like the last few years,
Right.
and finally, it started.
Right.
We're getting music from you.
Right.
Yeah.
Two for two.
2 for 2 so far, man.
for two.
Congrats just on everything. Like, for people who don't know, like, kind of give a little bit of a background, like just who you are, where you're from, and like how long you've been doing this rap shit, man.
Man, I've been releasing records since MySpace.
MySpace days.
Yeah,
Wow.
for sure. Like I was dropping shit on MySpace. I go back to like I remember like some of my first shits I was dropping.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even on a platform. Like I used to just make the Lime Links file.
Yep. I remember those.
Shit. Yeah, I was just dropping that shit on Twitter. But I'm from Carson. Man, I've been on this journey for a cool little minute, man. Hurdles,
Of course.
wiggling through the bullshit, figuring out, what works, what don't work. you
Right.
know. So it's been a long journey of just trying to figure out my footing. And so now that we in a position where, we had the music
Mm-hmm.
and now we kind of have the personnel, it's like, okay, now let's maximize everything that we doing.
Yeah, you're sitting on a insane cachet of music. How many songs are like that are you like these? I like these. Are you actually like sitting on right now?
Shit, man, a lot, and that's the hard part. That's the hard part because it'd be like certain songs that you really, really, not only do you really like, but you have a connection to the record. So you like, damn, I want this shit to come out.
It's like choosing from your kids, right?
Yeah, that's why I kind of learned to stop time stamping the music.
Right.
Sometimes you'll say some shit that like,
It's like it's like
so now you can't use
like,
it.
man, that line is like something that would have made sense 2 years ago.
Exactly. So now you got to switch it and all that
Right.
stuff like that. So I've been trying not to do that with the records, but it's a lot of stuff and certain shit. What I've been doing is certain records where I be like, I love it, but I understand the business that we in. Okay, this might not do up for me, so I might take a verse off a record and put it on something else, or take a couple lines, or rework a concept that was on another record. But no, we definitely have a lot of records.
Yeah, Kanye used to do that. You would like hear like old school like Kanye mixtapes, and he would have like that. Like there was that line that
The Miracle
the
Whip.
mayonnaise color Benz up push Miracle Whips, and then it
had that on,
ended
like, 4
up.
songs.
Yeah, I heard it on one of his mixtapes.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, and then College Dropout came out, and he had it on the Breathe In Breathe.
Right.
But he would have lines like that where he would be like, he'd have a feature come out, and I'd be like, man, I heard that bar on his mixtape shit. But it makes sense because why? Like, if you're smart enough to know, like, this song might not ever see the light of day, but I said some shit on here.
Yeah. So what I try to do, I try to be careful. Like the ones, like you asked me about a song off the record. I'm like, I don't know if that song is gonna ever really move, so I stopped playing it for people because I'm like, all right, I don't want to say these lines or something else, and people be like, oh yeah, I heard that shit. So
That makes sense. That makes sense, man. Your favorite rapper, Sugar Free.
Yeah.
Now, if anyone who's like heard you or listened to your raps, like, it's very evident that he is an influence.
Yeah. It's crazy. I was telling him, I'm like, especially being from out here, when people would hear you, they'd be like, oh, you sound like I used to when I was first taking label meters, they was telling me like, man, you sound like the cross between Kendrick and Schoolboy Q. And, I get it, but I always tell people, like, if you really know, like,
if you really know, you know what it is.
And be like, oh, yeah, that's Sugar Free reincarnated.
Yeah, the first time I heard you, like, on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it was, I was like, yo, I hear the Sugar Free influence, like, heavily. You know what I'm saying? And I know that, you just posted a video of you guys in the studio together. I believe you played me a song where he's on it.
Yeah.
How big of a deal is that? Like,
Bigger than signing a deal.
That's crazy, man. So it kind of give us that story.
I literally just posted the video right now. We in the studio and he telling me about how he fuck with my style, and I'm like, shit, I took your shit.
Right.
And just made it my own. Like I was literally telling him, I'm like, it's like having a Space Jam ball. Like I just went to you and I'm like, I can't take your power, but it's like I just took, your cadences.
Yeah.
And flipped it. Cause I mean, I ain't no pimp. I've never,
Right.
before, but I fuck with, his message being the fact that, all right, this is what I'm gonna talk about, this is what I'm gonna be on, and I don't give a fuck about nothing else but this. You know what I mean? You ain't never heard Sugar Free diss nobody. You ain't never heard him talk bad about nobody on records. He was like, I dedicated my career to this, and I fucked with that, you know. And then just the way that he did it, it was just like,
his delivery. I feel like, you know, we don't give enough props to Sugar Free when it comes to like how unique of an artist he was.
Yeah, it's very charismatic, real conversational, you know, like.
And nobody sounded like Sugar Free ever.
No.
You know, like if you think about like his era, there was nobody who you could be like you could box him in with.
Right. And it's so like crazy because
one of one.
You hear certain people that got the influence. Like I was in the studio with One Take Jay, and I was listening to him. I'm like, I was telling the homies, I'm like, damn, me and One Take Jay rap the same way. Like we just do it different. But we both took his cadences. Like when I was really listening to like a song he did, I was like, damn, he raps the same way I would, because what it is it's a swing. So we're not rapping directly on the one. You know, you might be slightly before it or slightly after. I was talking to Free about that. It's like certain people, you hear that. So they might say, oh, you sound off beat, but it's not really, you know, off beat. And that's like why Blxst beats are so smooth, because the drums are hitting different. So if you would nod your head like this to a certain song, now you this way, because it's just a slightly different groove. So I do that with the raps. But nah, like the Sugar Free shit, man, I met him a couple years ago. I had popped up at this spot he was performing at, wiggle my way backstage or whatever, and you know, introduced myself and was just letting him know what he meant to me. I got cool with one of his artists, Pomona Dirt. Shout out Pomona Dirt. But we stayed kind of tapped in on the gram, so they were doing something else. I popped up there. Pomona Dirt took me to the little backstage area, so I got to you know, chop it with Free again. But that was like 2018.
Right.
I hadn't physically seen him since. So it was crazy because when he got to the studio, like, you know, I got these dark ass shades on
right.
I had these shits on in the booth, and I was recording with my eyes closed. I look up, and this motherfucker then walked into the booth, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, nobody even told me, you know, that he was like there at the time. So I come out there, and he was like, man, I've been looking for you. I've been looking for you for like 2-3 years. God damn, like I would never think that,
right?
You know,
so he remembered you from meeting me backstage,
But he was like, I wanted to sign you. He was like, I've been looking for you. That motherfucker told me, he said, I've been looking for you in the daytime with a flashlight, man. Am I lying, John?
You know what's crazy about Sugar Free is he's one of the only rappers who, when I met him, it was the exact, like as a kid, if you told me I'd meet Sugar Free one day,
exactly what you thought it would be, huh?
He was in Las Vegas at the Planet Hollywood Miracle Mile Mall, walking through the mall with 2 females on leashes.
Oh, shit.
And he was performing that night. It was like an old school West Coast show. It was like Ice Cube, Snoop, Too Short, like Sugar Free. But he was walking through the mall. He had 2 girls on leashes, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing.
Right.
This is exactly what I had hoped for when meeting Sugar Free. Like, well, how about this he was fucking had as fuck. He was suited and booted. I said, this is incredible.
I asked this nigga, man, I said, I said, man, while you was like pimping, like full-fledged pimping, man, like how did you like lock in so heavy on your craft, man, and keep your raps tight? Cause he stopped pimping after the first album and all that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he looked at me, bro. Like I got these shades. If I didn't have shades on, bro, I would have folded. I'm talking about he looked at me so cold, like he was looking through me.
Right.
John, am I lying, bro? That motherfucker, he said just like this. You know how to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time? I laughed like that, right? He didn't say nothing. He just kept looking at me. Well, all right then.
All right then.
I was like, oh shit. This motherfucker is for real. God
he
damn.
Playing.
He wasn't playing, bro. He stared through me and he said that.
It's so funny because I'll be in the car like with my wife and I'll be listening to Sugar Free sometimes and she'll be so like, what the fuck are you listening to? What is this guy saying? Like, it's crazy because like it's unfortunate like Sugar Free couldn't exist in 2021.
Hell no.
He'd get fucking canceled, man.
Man,
they'd be like, what?
Bro, my ex, she knew, like, she got in my car and she heard the Sugar Free. I'm not fucking with you. I used to cut that shit on and let her know, like, I'm not.
That's great.
For real, that's how you put somebody under conviction. You cut that free on, man.
Yeah, throw that Sugar Free on. Like, listen, man. You better listen to these words. Listen to these lyrics.
Nah, y'all, but I love Sugar Free. Like I told him, at the end of the night when he was like, man, thanks for having me, you know, it's love, appreciate you. And I was just saying to him, I'm like, man, dog, I owe you, man. Like, taking your style, I was able to go get a deal and provide for myself and my family.
That's incredible. Like, and also the fact that you're very like, you pay homage to him, because a lot of people, they don't have the humility to do such a thing.
Right. He was like, man, he was like, I fuck with the fact you say it in front of, you know, all your boys. I'm like, nah, they all know I love you, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, everybody know I ain't ashamed of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just seen, I was talking to G Perico on Sunday, and I was telling him some things about him that I super fuck with, and any artist that I'm a real fan of, that I really fuck with, like my boy will tell you, I was in there with Dom, and I was saying like, dog, I wear my hats the way I wear them because of you. I'm not one of them rappers that's too cool
to give up props.
Like, bro, if you see somebody and you fuck with it, you let them you let them know that you fuck with it. Me and Mike from Mike and Keys, we was talking about Supreme, because I'm really into, you know, Supreme
right.
shit. So we was talking about it, and we was like, man, you know, the first motherfucker we was seeing in that shit was Casey Veggies.
Facts.
So I'm like, I was like, bro, Casey was one of the first young fly dudes. Like,
people don't give, you know, Casey enough credit when it comes to like what him and Anwar were doing, like 2013, 2014, and just that whole movement when it came to like the fashion and like,
right,
you know.
So we was talking about that shit, and then Casey pop up at the spot we was at. So I was telling him, I was like, nah, I remember, you know, because I started quoting these lyrics to him from this shit he had called The Pennies back in the day. So I rapped it to him. He laughing, he rapping it with me and shit. And I was like, I remember the video. You had them brown and purple, the Supreme Timberland joints on. He was like, damn, like I for sure did. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like I know I can rap, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I know I can rap. I know what I'ma be. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm headed. But I don't feel no way letting the motherfucker know, like, hey, nah, I fuck with you. Or at this specific time, this certain shit you did inspire me. Because I mean, like,
that's important, man. Because at the end of the day, like,
I'm confident in myself for sure.
Nobody got to where they are in whatever field you're doing, and when it comes to art, you know what I'm saying, without having people who inspired them.
Right.
And to act otherwise is crazy.
Right, yeah. Don't get me wrong. We get on the court, you know what I mean? I'm still going.
Of course, yeah, but you got to give it, like, it's like, bro, like, of course, like, even like me, like, you know, the first time I met Big Boy, or, you know, it's like, yo, like, I grew up, like, listening to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like crazy that I know you now.
But I still gotta do my shit though.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, like, you're a fucking legend. Like, thank you for everything you've done for our industry. Yeah, like, I'm here because, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I always try to do that, especially with, like, you know, certain radio dudes, like, who, you know, I kind of came up doing like an underground hip hop specialty show.
Right.
But that came from Friday Night Flavors, which was on at Power 106 with Mr. Chalk and those guys. And,
right.
And you know, that they kind of, and when I met Sway, I was like, dude, like, I used to buy the Sway and King Tech freestyle CDs, and like, you guys are like what I wanted to be.
Right.
I wanted to just play underground rap music.
But see, the dope part about that is when you give somebody their flowers like that, a lot of time it's some game that come back with it.
For sure.
Like, you learn a lot.
Yeah, like Sway, bro. Sway was like, you know, as a kid, man, you know, I listened to the Wake Up Show every weekend, and, you know, to have a relationship with him is crazy. You know what I mean? Be like, damn, I know Sway.
Right.
And then he gave it up to me, brought me and Head on his show, and was like, we're the gatekeepers of the West.
Yeah, that's hard.
I was like, damn, this is crazy. Someone should pinch me right now. But I saw that video, and I figured.
I said that in the rap. I'm sending that to Sugar Free, like, shit, a dream. Somebody pinched me.
Yep.
Like, I had to put that in a verse because I really, you know, like, damn.
Nah, man, that's big, because I know you, you know, it's evident like how big of an influence he is on you. And then you and I talked, you know, 4 or 5 months ago. You pulled up on me, and I was like, yeah, man, I know that's a big deal. That was dope. You got to capture that moment.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, interrupting the interview to tell you about our good friends at Odd Socks. Now, as you can see, I always have my Odd Socks on, baby. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, shout out to my bony ass knees. Listen, go to oddsocksofficial.com. They got all the craziest socks. These are the outsiders. You know what I'm saying? They got SpongeBob. They got Cheech and Chong. Listen, Breaking Bad, Godfather, whatever you need, they got it. And now they have underwear. That's right. You can get your Odd Socks underwear. The boxer briefs are the best underwear that you could ever fit on your ass. Trust me when I tell you. These are Chucky draws. What you know about top ramen underwear, all right? Go to oddsocksofficial.com. Use the keyword Bootleg Kev at checkout, and you'll save 20% off of your order. Underwear, masks, slippers, socks, Whatever you need, they got it. Oddsocksofficial.com. Keyword Bootleg Kev at checkout. Save 20%. For people who don't know, like you and Blxst, you got a new record out, but like you guys are very much rooted in this game together.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people who are just getting up on Blxst don't realize he's kind of like
he's not new. Like
he's not new. He's been a factor in the scene as far as being a producer, engineer.
Right.
I mean, can do it all. You know, he's kind of like LA's Russ. Like, you know, Russ always brags that he mixes and masters and records himself and makes the beat. I'm like, yo, Blxst does all that shit.
I would say more like he like the new Quick.
For sure. Nah, for sure. But like you guys got it out the mud together. Yeah. And you had told me some stories about like some early stuff with you and Blxst, but kind of give me a background on how you guys met and your guys' kind of come up has been kind of synonymous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I met Blxst. I went to school with his nephews. So like I was at school rapping and shit like that. So I guess they was going on like, yeah, man, this dude at the school, Cash or whatever. So we were working with some of the we were around some of the same people early because his nephews were rapping, and it was this producer in Carson named Joseph. He went by Stunna B, but I know Blxst was like recording and shit at Stunna B crib.
Right.
But like it was like Christmas break of like 2008.
Damn.
And like we had linked up at everybody had went up to Cal State Dominguez, again from Carson. So everybody went up to Cal State Dominguez. We was like having this football game, and Blxst came up there with his nephews. That was my first time.
Oh wait.
Yeah, I met Blxst in 2008.
That's a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
It's 13 years ago.
Yeah.
So at what point in time did you guys start to have like a creative relationship where you guys started to make music together?
So we did a song back then. I think I did my first song with Blxst when I was like 16. He sent me this record. It was called Go Hard. This was the first song I ever did with Blxst was called Go Hard. So he sent it to me, and I recorded it at home, and I sent it to him, and he was like, yo, can you send me like the WAV file? I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga?
Right.
You know, I found out later, like the first person that put him on, like mixing this shit was Chris O'Bannon.
Shout out to Chris O'Bannon.
Yeah, O'Bannon was around back then too. But yeah, so yeah, we did that record back then. I don't even know if that shit ever came out. But what ends up happening, I want to say, I always just was seeing him around, like going to different shit, like leaving parties and coming to the Denny's in Carson.
Right.
I'm seeing him and the homie PJ there, and just going out to spots and running into him. And then I had did the LA Cypher, which was Breezy in the Street shit, and Blxst was doing all the beats for it, et cetera. So I went up there and I did it, and I won. And so like one of the prizes was like you do a session with Blxst, and Blxst does the beat or whatever, something like that. So I had pulled up and I recorded with him, but at the time I was recording with this dude named Keitel, which is Reason's engineer. Mm-hmm. So I had a session, but the day I had the session with Keitel, he told me his studio burned down.
Jesus.
So I asked Blxst, can I come record the record with him?
Right.
I was doing a verse for my homeboy from my neighborhood, K-Stone. So I pulled up over there, I did the record with Blxst, and I just started recording with Blxst on the regular after that. So this was, I want to say 2016, maybe.
So you guys had kind of reconnected around.
Yeah, like
that.
we were seeing each other, like I was seeing
creative,
each other, following each other, and
creatively,
like that,
you guys started to hit your stride around then.
We started back like being around each other, like on the regular, like 2016.
Dope.
So I was over there, like we was in the studio with each other every day, just moving around, and then yeah, shit. Blxst was, I think when I trying to think. We did a song. We did a song called Signing Off. I remember I sent the record to Blxst, and I was out to eat, man. I was at Olive Garden, and I got the verse back. I went in the car. I went to the bathroom. I'm listening to the verse. I'm like, oh shit, this it was a rap verse. Like Blxst had rapped on the song, but not only did he rap on it, I was making my own beats at the time, and Blxst had did additional production on the record. I was like, oh shit, like
that added something to it.
So then other records I was doing, I was sending Blxst to,
like, yo, what you got for this one?
Right. So it just became like
that's fire, man.
But yeah, Blxst my boy. A lot of people, I was telling you off the camera, like I got a DM when Priority dropped, a motherfucker asked me like,
how much you pay for this feature?
Man, how did you get a Blxst feature and how much did you pay for it? And I was like, damn, like that's crazy. You know, I be having to remember though, Blxst is, bro, that nigga larger than life right now. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people that don't know the history, they'll never know like, okay, well shit, like this actually my boy. Like we didn't actually did things for each other, etc. You know what I'm saying? But nah, yeah, I fuck with Blxst. That's like one of my friends. It's not really like a rap.
Right. No, it's a friendship for sure.
Like I know bro parents, like he met my
right.
And shit like that.
That's wild, man. Yeah, no, he's scorching right now.
Yeah, no, hottest nigga in LA.
For sure. I would say on the West Coast.
Shit, I'll give him that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he's definitely in that conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
You always are like taking photos with like legends. So like you'll be in the studio with like Snoop or Dre or you know like talk to me about like meeting Dre, and you know obviously you know that is got to be I mean I've never met Dre, I've never met Hove. I can imagine like meeting either one of those two guys would be just like.
Yeah, I never met Jay-Z.
But those are the two guys I always think like, man, if I ever, because I met Kanye when I was like 16, but
never met
Dre or Hove would be crazy. But like you actually been in the studio with Dre.
More than once. I've been to Dr. Dre's house.
You've been to his house?
Been to his house.
Where he's got 1,000 pair of white Air Force Ones.
Bro, like, I went on a tour in Dr. Dre's house. He like showing you like the long ass swimming pool, like his gym, like he hitting the speed bag and shit.
I heard his studio's insane at his house.
Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah,
like,
my first time I went to the studio in his crib. So when I posted pictures in the studio with Dre, I was at his house.
That's fire. So how was that, man? Like and
crazy.
You know, what was the conversations like with Dre? Did you play him any music?
Yeah, I did. I played him music. I definitely did. But shit, man, the conversation was super crazy because I'm like, man, my daughter was on the way, and I was getting dad advice from Dr. Dre and shit like that, and that shit was just like, damn.
That's big.
Nah, wow. But
another pinch me moment.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I played him music, but it's crazy because like when we got in there, like he was in there with DLC, like Fred Wreck was there, like it was like some real
his team, yeah,
it was some real shit going on. So Fuzzy was like, you know, want to play some records, and he was like, yeah. He kept saying like the mic is hot because they was writing. So he was saying like, basically he wasn't about to let me press play until, you know, we did something.
Yeah,
I want to see what he could do. He just kept saying that. So I watched him. He went up to the he went up to the mic, and he was laying just like melody, I guess you would say.
Right.
So he was mumbling, and there was like halfway words there. So what I did was like Fuzzy kept saying like, "You ready? You ready?" So I sat in the back, and I put words to the mumbles he was did.
To the melody.
So I went up to when I finally walked up to the mic, it was like 8 bars because I had filled in everything that he had did.
Dope.
So it was like instant respect.
That's fire, and also the fact that like no one's ever gonna hear what you did because we've been waiting for the detox since I wasn't old enough to drink.
It's crazy though because certain things carry over because that was the day where I found out not to timestamp music. Because I was he was saying I took the mumbles and I put words to him, right? And it's so crazy. If Fuzzy were here, he would tell you I said a line and he reacted to it while I was recording, and that's what stopped me from recording. So the last line, I was fitting his mumbles and I said, "Back up off me, bitch, social distance." And he was like, "Oh shit," like because he's looking at me like I'm coming off the off the top of the head. But he was like, "Man, that shit hard. We got to change it though because it's gonna make it
time related to this era." Right. Yeah. So that's some real shit though.
That's when I learned that. Right.
And you never know. Like at the end of the day, you know, with Dre, we just never know what's gonna happen. Like one day we might wake up and we actually might have a Dr. Dre. I mean, I didn't expect the Compton album to come out.
Nah, yeah, I heard some shit. I'm like, he's definitely.
No, I mean I know he's always working.
Yeah,
it's
it made me like feel like I wasn't doing enough.
Yeah,
like bro, he's accomplished everything, and I'm like, damn, he got all these records and just really in here just going crazy. So I went that night. And then we doubled back and came back again, and it was dope because I we went. It was like Lakers in Miami, and we watched the game.
Oh, the finals. Yeah.
Right. So Quavo was there. Anderson .Paak was there. So I ended up. They were working on the record, and I got to write on another record with them also.
That's
so I'm
huge.
sitting there in the circle.
That's big, man.
Doing the same shit. So
Dre was cool though.
Hella cool. Bro, it tripped me out. I'm telling the homies, I'm like, man, because none of my homeboys call me Jayson.
Right.
Like, if the homie call me Jayson, you trying to be funny, or like you knew me like on some other shit. But like everybody calls me Cash. I don't like. It's weird because if you know me as Jayson, then call me Jayson.
Right.
If you know me as Cash, then call me that. But yeah, he was like, "What you think about that, Jayson?" I ain't about to tell that straight up. Call me Jayson.
What?
I'm like, "Oh shit, you calling me Jayson? That's crazy."
That's so crazy.
Yeah, and then Snoop is just man, bro.
Snoop is I've hung out with Snoop and smoked with him once, and he was like the nicest dude. Man, he was just a whole vibe. He was in his green room playing like oldies on his like DJ controller, getting high, getting his hair done. It was like another guy who I met, and I was like, this is about what I expected from Snoop. This is amazing.
Yeah, man. Snoop is just super.
Yeah, I just like
you forget like just how
listen. Snoop Dogg really like
big of a deal he is, like the way he acts.
Snoop changed my life, man. Doggy Style was the first rap album that I really like fell in love with. I was 5 years old, bro.
Yeah, that's hard.
And my grandma, remember back in the day in the magazines, you used to be able to get like 10 CDs for like $1. Yeah. So she got a Doggy Style on tape by accident.
That's fire.
And it was, my grandma was old as fuck, so it was like a cartoon on the cover.
Uh-huh.
And so she gave it to me.
Gave it to you.
And I'm fucking, bro, I had that like literally I knew that whole album like front to back in kindergarten year. And then my mom heard me listening to it and she took it and hid it, and then I found it. And
yeah, my favorite Snoop song is definitely on that album.
What song is it?
G's and Hustlers.
Oh yeah, it's fucking amazing. Yeah, I actually think Doggy Style is a top 3 or 4 album of all time, and I think it's my personal favorite album to ever come out of the West Coast. It's my number one. I mean, obviously, you know, there's other ones in that conversation, but for me, it's Doggy Style, man.
That's definitely up there.
I put Doggy Style over everything ever come out of it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, just for me, you know.
Yeah, I mean I always like to lead with the for me. Like when I sat down with Big Boy, I was talking about Kendrick. I'm like, my GOAT. He was like, why you call him your GOAT? I said, because can't nobody tell me he's not my GOAT.
Yeah, he's your GOAT.
You know,
and like for the record, even me, like I have Kendrick in my top 5, and people always give me shit, but I'm like, yo, man, like if you could put Biggie in your top 5 off of 2 albums,
right?
Biggie put out 2 albums, right, and then he passed away. If you could put him in your top 5 off of 2 fucking albums, right? Kendrick has, and I'm not even counting Section 80, Kendrick Lamar EP. Overly dedicated. I'm not talking about none of that. If we're just talking about
just the albums,
just the Interscope,
Good Kid, man.
I mean, come on, man. Yeah. Let's and even take Untitled out of the. I mean, we're talking those 3 albums,
right?
Come on, man. It's 3 for 3. He's working on one of the best discographies ever right now, and the Section 80 is a classic in my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah, Kendrick's top 5 all time.
Kendrick Lamar EP, OD, like again.
Overly dedicated. Pussy and Patron. Come on, man.
Man, come on now. Ab Soul is on that thing, man.
Man.
Carson in the house.
Shout out to Ab Soul. Shout out to Carson. What I mean, obviously, you know, coming out of Carson, like Ab Soul's like, you know, that's Ab Soul, Razcast,
Bishop Lamont.
Shout out to Bishop Lamont, man. Bishop Lamont had some shit.
Yeah. Brandy, Ray J, Reason.
Yeah.
Jayson Cash.
I mean, shit, a hell of a.
My boy Meech played Pac and All Eyes on Me. You know.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
fire.
Shit, Carson.
That's yeah, man. Shout out to Carson. Like, how I mean, obviously, like Carson is kind of probably one of the more like lesser known LA areas. You know, when it comes to just like nationwide.
That's
you know
why I yell it out all the time.
Yeah, I think it's important, man.
Because I go out of town, they be like, "Where you from?" Like I say, I'm from LA, but I'm from LA County. I'm not from the city of Los Angeles.
You're from the city of Carson.
I'm from the city of Carson, and then when I say I'm from Carson, I gotta say, yeah, it's between Compton and Long Beach. It's like, nah, I want to get to a point where motherfucker be like, where you from? From Carson. Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, that's what Snoop did when he came in. Nobody knows shit about Long Beach.
Yeah, people talked about that.
Yeah, people would just be like, yeah, Snoop's from LA. That's why. No, he's from Long Beach, and you knew it.
Right. That's on my first single. All I know, I said, you got to crack the door like Uncle Snoop did. Put your whole city on. That's the blueprint. Mm-hmm. Snoop came through. It was the East Siders. You know what I mean? The Twins. It was just
even just like you would always just hear Long Beach from the Chronic. like all the way to, you know, like you said, the East Side of shit, but even like Chronic Doggy Style, you knew where the fuck he was from.
Right. And
even the videos.
Nah, for sure. Even on some LA shit, it's like everybody done passed through Carson. Like you probably, you got an auntie or grandma, somebody that lived in Carson. You went to the champagne parties there, and then it's like shit. TDE Studios in Carson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's where that shit jumped off.
Which is crazy. Yeah, man.
When I played, I had a record called Carson in the House. I played it for Dr. Dre, and he was just like, yo, I lived in Carson for a year. He was like, and my mom had a store in the Carson Mall. Like that, he stopped me halfway through the song to tell me that. And I was talking to Snoop about it, and he was like, you know, back in the day, like, you know, you used to tell a girl that you from Carson because it's like they known for having nice houses and all that type of shit like that. It's like they family look at you like, okay, he cool, you know. But a lot of people didn't pass through Carson to have some type of, you know, connection to it. And even like with Compton being so big, it's like, bro, we only separated by the 91 freeway. Like that's literally we cousins.
Shout out to all the Samoans too from Carson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Was Booyah Tribe from Carson?
Yeah, Booyah Tribe too. Oh, forgive me. Charge my mind, not my heart. Yeah, Booyah Tribe is Carson.
Some legends as well, man. How did you getting shot change your life?
Realize this shit is real.
Because
this shit could be over like that.
Yeah, man. Because you know I mean I've never been shot, but I got into a really bad accident, and it was very like just to know like, oh.
Yeah, because it's not so much the getting shot; it's just facing mortality, like period.
Right.
Just knowing you could be up out of here, it just changes the way that you look at life. Because you go to sleep thinking tomorrow's promise.
We always think that. Yeah, we grow up a certain way where it's like, yeah, we're so like, you know what I mean. I think we grew up in an era where it's like, you know, we got good medicine, we ain't had to deal with polio and
shit, you know what I'm saying. But for the most part, it's like, you know, this shit could really be over. And there's nothing you could do about it.
Did it make you like move any differently? Did it change anything that you did as far as just like?
I mean, yeah, naturally. But I always say like, for me, like getting shot, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I probably would feel about it different if it was somebody actually looking for Jayson or somebody like trying.
They weren't like seeking you out.
Yeah, like if it was that, then it, you know what I mean. I probably move even way more different. But it's just like that's just some LA shit. Like
you might just get caught like in on a bad place at a bad time.
Wrong place, wrong time, and it could just be up like that. But nah, you definitely become a lot more cautious, mindful of, you know what I mean, like where you at or who knows where you at, or just how you move.
Especially now, you know, you get the new baby and, you know, things are, you got a lot more to live for, man.
Right. And then, you know, everybody ain't happy for you.
Most people aren't happy for you that are from where you're from. Like, I feel like, you know, most of the people who hate my guts are because, like, they didn't make it out of where I'm from. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my biggest haters in the world are in my hometown.
For real?
Yeah, of course. I feel like, you know, obviously you're going to have people happy for you, but, like, your biggest haters usually are from your hometown.
Yeah, I get a lot of love at home.
I mean, that's important. But I just mean, like, in general, like, you know, like, there's probably, like, 5 or 6 people who are so envious of your success.
Yeah. The scary part about that is the people that feel that way, like, you'll never know it.
You'll never know it.
You might see them and they hug you and they tell you how much they fuck with you. So you
would never know it.
So I always, you know, like, I ain't funny style. So you know, I'm cool.
Right.
But I kind of try to stick to just, you know, my comfort, because I don't even want to put myself in a position where I have to find out how somebody really feel about me.
That's some real shit, man.
You know, I got to get home.
I know you got some new music coming out with Buddy soon. Is there going to be a mixtape album? Are we just putting out songs right now?
We dropping
heating
singles.
it up.
We dropping singles, heating it up, getting ready. You know, I got to finalize this EP, figure this track list out. So many.
Well, you know, I heard a record that you and Simba have called West Side Griselda that was supposed to be on his album, and it didn't end up on his album because sample issues, right? Is that song ever going to come out?
I don't know.
Yeah, that would have been nice to. That shit was fire.
I don't know. I got another record with Simba though.
Yeah, the West Side Griselda, that was crazy.
Nah, you ain't heard this other one though. I'll play it for you.
All right, yeah. So,
but nah, yeah, West Side Griselda was, is crazy. I got my deal off West Side Griselda.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, look, man.
The show, we did that record when it got mixed. I mean, when Dallas just first heard it, or even just my production company, Star Island. I think when Donnie heard it, was just like, oh, what the fuck is this? I remember Fuzzy hearing it, just the reaction everywhere. Matter of fact, that's the first, so I played a record for Dr. Dre, the first one, right? The first song I played, I Keep It 100, like, the reaction was like, it was cool.
Right. And you know, too.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't like, oh, I don't fuck with this or I super fuck with it, but it was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
He wasn't just like overly impressed. I played Westside Griselda. I get through my verse, the motherfucker go, start that shit over. Walks up to the board, cuts up everything. Like, cuts up everything.
And he got them big speakers in there.
Oh, my God.
I heard his speakers are fucking crazy there.
Dog, like, I'm playing this shit again. I'm going through it. He's standing behind me, throwing up LA, going like this. He like, yeah, Cash, I fuck with this shit.
Damn.
Like, yeah.
That's so crazy.
That was Westside Griselda. Played that shit for him.
Put the fucking song out, man. Let's get. What's the point of Atlantic? Can we get us some samples cleared, for fuck's sake? Jesus. Anyway, well, look, man. Be on the lookout. Go support the record. You got 2 songs out. Priority with Blxst.
Yeah, All I Know is out as well.
Yeah, so go run them up. YouTube, Spotify, and new music is coming as well.
Yeah, man. I'm on your ass, man.
Jayson Cash.
Yeah. Carson.
Boom.